Good afternoon, and thank you all for joining us today in observance of the 100th anniversary of the ratification of the 19th Amendment, Women's Suffrage. The title for this event is adapted by a speech given from Mary Church Terrell to the National Women's Suffrage Association in 1898, titled The Progress of Colored Women. She closed with these remarks: lifting as they climb, seeking no favors because of their color, nor charity because of their needs, they knock at the door of justice and ask for an equal chance. As a Black woman, knowing that history, the efforts of my own mother and grandmother in the fight for equality, I cannot help but be emotional about the historic nomination of Senator Kamala Harris. The history being made today is because of the generations of women who have stood up for equality and justice. As organizers, community leaders, suffragists, mothers, and caregivers, we have been at the forefront of social change. We also know that too often, women of color suffragists like Nannie Helen Burroughs and Mabel Ping Hua Lee are on the forefront of line to bring about change, only to be sent to the back of the line when it is time to reap the benefits. While the 19th Amendment prevented the states from denying people the right to vote based on sex, it was still lawful to deny access to women to the ballot on account of race and color until the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And even as we rightly celebrate John Lewis, few people know the name of Amelia Boynton, the Black woman who invited SCLC and SNCC to Selma, and who was also beaten and trampled on the bridge on Bloody Sunday 55 years ago. Today, we commemorate 100 years of suffrage by honoring all of the women who have fought and continue to fight for all of us. Many of you joined us back in June for the release of How Far to Go, The Status of Women in Georgia, 1970 and Today. The data compiled demonstrated that despite the progress women have fought for and gained in our state, we continue to see devastating disparities, especially for women of color. Today's event is a continuation of the conversation we are eager to have with women and organizations across the state about how we work together to advance a truly inclusive women's agenda. In 77 days, or less if you vote early like I do, we will all vote as if our rights depend on it, because they do. From the top of the ticket all the way down, the outcome of the election will have tremendous consequences for women across the country and the state. Whatever the outcome, we will continue to organize and fight. But right now, we are taking a moment of inspiration from the brilliance and persistence of women who fought for equality over 100 years ago.